Hello students, welcome to July 7th lesson on arithmetic and geometric sequences. Today we're going to focus on arithmetic and we'll probably do one or two geometric sequences, but we'll do that formula, this one here on our next lesson. All right, so let's go ahead and just, the first thing we're going to do is focus on the arithmetic sequences. And arithmetic sequences just means there's a sequence that keeps on going, whether you're going to be adding the number or subtracting the number, okay? All right, so for our first one here, as you can see, -3, -5, -2, 1, and so on. They have a dot, dot, dot like that. It just keeps on going, doesn't stop. So this is our first sequence. Okay, so this is our first number. N is equal to 1. So this is our first number, our second number, our third number, our fourth number, and so on. So this is our first number, and they call it N. N is equal to 1, so our first number is -8, our second number is -5, our third number is -2, and our fourth number is 1. Okay, now they also want to, they always want you to focus on the before, all right? So the 0. So obviously, as you look at the pattern, the next one is going to be -11, okay? And that one is called, well, we'll go back to it. But anyway, our common difference, all right? That means that is it going up or going down? That means our common difference is going up by 3. You could do a +3 there, but you don't need to. Just write a 3, it's good enough. If our common difference is going down, you have to write a negative. This one, as you can see, is going up. You owe 8, then you owe 5, which is good. That's why it's going up. All right? Now, the before number is really important. Okay, the before number is called B. All right? And that is -11. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second. Now, if you were to graph an arithmetic sequence, it's always a straight line, so it's linear. For example, our first number, this is 1 here, again, that's our x, okay, and in this case is our n, all right, but our first number is -8, our second number is -5, and so on. As you see, it always forms a nice straight line. This should be -11 right here, all right? Again, one more time, arithmetic sequence is always a straight line. Okay, just in case they're gonna ask you for that. All right. Now we have to write an equation. Okay, and we're gonna use this formula right here. So make sure you pause and write this down. Okay, so this is our sequence of numbers. They call it T. Okay, or they use another letter like U or W, whatever. But anyway, you see the letter N right over here. This is T of N. I mean, our function of T of N. Okay, this is our function right here. This is our first. This is our beginning number. Okay. Our M is our common difference. N is it the first number, the second number, third number? So you can actually replace these numbers in here to give you the answer, okay? So for example, if I put a 1 right here, our first number, and then you go, okay, our first number is -8, and you put -8 in there. And then if it's our second number, okay, what's our second number? Second number is -5, then you put -5 in there. All right, so that's how the equation works. And B is our before number, okay, when N is equal to 0, which is -11. So it's actually really easy. You just have to write down the equation. Okay, so T, this is our equation here, okay? And our common difference is 3. And you can multiply that by N, okay? N is, you can multiply by one of these numbers, okay? Plus our before number, which is -11. Now you could just write down -11, and that's probably good enough, okay? And that is our equation right there. All right, any question on that? Go ahead and email me, remember that, okay? Or talk to me during Zoom, all right? All right, let's go and move down a little bit and let's do our geometric sequence. Geometric sequence, we're gonna talk about it once or twice today. Most of it will be in our next lesson video, okay? Geometric sequence, it's always by multiplying. You go, wait, what happened to divide? Well, if you multiply a number that's less than 1 from 0 to 1, it's like dividing. For example, when you divide by 2, it's the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. If you divide by 3, it's the same thing as multiplying by 1/3. So they just want you to focus on multiplying, all right? So as you can see, this one is going by half. So instead of dividing by 2, that's really confusing, especially when you write an equation. So then they just want you to focus on multiplying instead. So again, our common difference is multiplying by 1/2, all right? So that's how it's gonna look like. Now, when you graph something like this, okay, it usually looks like half a U of some sort, okay? So this one is slowly going down. So it's from all the way up here and it's slowly going down. So it's not a straight line and it looks like that. It is still a function, okay? Now, sometimes it looks like it's going up like this instead, All right, so like a half a U, and that is our geometric sequence. All right. Now, if you were to find a graph, they can ask you for that. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do a couple of things that will be on your assignment. Okay. The explicit and the recursive formula. Now we already talked about the explicit. Let's go ahead and we'll do it again. And this is our recursive. Recursive is a little bit confusing. Okay, but we'll talk about that, and hopefully I can help you out with that. All right. Again, one more time: explicit and recursive. So let's go and do the first one quickly. We'll do one at a time. All right. So I'm gonna draw a line here. So we do this side here. We'll do the explicit. And this side here we'll do the recursive. All right. All right. So it looks like it's gonna you're going from 3 to -2. Now I always want the before number, so I always like to write it on the left side. So it looks like it's going down by 5. So therefore this one has to be an 8 because it goes from 8 to 3. You see how it's going down by 5. So that is my before number. I'm gonna need that later, okay, for this one here for sure, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and do this one again one more time. So we just write T of n is equal to, okay, by the way, that's my T, not an F. That's my T, that's not an F. Okay, I know it looks like an F, but anyway. So this one here is going to be my common difference, which is a -5. Okay, so my -5, you multiply that by n. Remember, n, this n here is one of these numbers. All right, this n here is just to go, oh, which one is, what do you start with? You're gonna start with 1. Okay, then you 1, the first number would be a 3. So you put a 3 in there. Okay, now, and then plus b, and b, remember guys, b is the before number. Okay, so it's 8, and that's my equation right there. It's actually really that easy. All right, now your recursive is a little bit different. They want you to focus on this part here, and that looks really, really confusing. Okay, so let me go ahead and explain quickly for you. All right, so we know, let's just say our first sequence is, oh man, I have no room to write. This is our first sequence here. This is our first. This is our second. This is our third, our fourth, and our fifth. This one is our before. Okay, now if t of n is our first number, then our second number is just 1 plus 2, which is our second number. So it looks really, really confusing. So if this is our first number, which is 3, then our second number, isn't it just this number plus 1? Right? So that's what it means. It just means that whatever that number is, it's the next number. All right? So this is our recursive, meaning finding the next number. Because they just want to know, hey, what's the next number? If our answer is -7, what's the next number? -12. If our answer is -17, what's the next number? Okay, it'll be -23, and so forth. So they want to know, hey, what is the next number? So this formula means, what is the next number? All right? Remember, f of 1 is our first number, okay? So all you have to do is just write this down right here. So this is going to be our first number. So I just say our f of 1, or sorry, of f n plus 1, okay, equal to. Now, if our f is our first number, f of 1, okay, and then you just have to, this is the multiplier right here, which just happens to be -5, like that. All right, so our formula is just, hey, what is our first number? What is that number? And then what is the next number, which is just -5. For example, all right, if our first number, okay, if our first number, f of 1, is 3, then it's just 3 minus 5. Here, I'll erase this one. Maybe that's confusing. So it's just be 3 minus 5. So then our next number is -2. So they're asking you, what is our next number? Okay, that's what recursive means. I'm going to explain one more time, okay? So again, what happened if it's -17? So you put -17 in there, and then you minus 5. Oh, they're just asking for a next number. What's the next number after -17? -25. So that's what it is, all right? All right, that's really, really confusing, but anyway, let's just go ahead and do another problem. All right? Okay, so let's go ahead and do this one quickly. Okay, so it looks like this one's going up by 4, and our before number is -12. All right, so t n is equal to, this is 4n, and our first, our before number is negative 12. One more time. So it's going up, or m, or sorry, my bad right here. Let's write m is equal to 4. Write that down. All right, and our b is equal to our number before, which is negative 12. So I just have to rewrite this equation right here, replacing it with 4, replacing it with negative 12. And that's how it looks like right there. All right, let's go ahead and redo this one now. Okay, so same thing, fn plus 1, and our f of n, whatever that is, you're just going to subtract, oh, you're going to add that by 4, and that's it. And that's really that simple, okay? I know it can be confusing, I get that, okay? But that's just really that simple, all right? All right. All right, so the one there'll be a couple problems where they can ask you, write the first 5 sequences. That's actually really easy, okay? So you just have to go, okay, our first one, plug in our first number, okay? So our first number is gonna be 1, so it'll be 3 minus 5 will be negative 5. Oh, what happened to our second number? Okay, our second number is the multiplier, it'll be negative 8 times 2, it'll be negative 16. Negative 16 minus 3 minus negative 16 would be negative 13. Okay, f of 3. Or you could just go, oh, it's going down by 8 every single time, so negative 21. Negative 29. Be negative, going by 8 is 27 right there, okay? Now, same thing for this one. Now, this one here, as you can see, it's going, this is a arithmetic one, okay? This one here will be geometric because it's multiplying by, there's actually two, when there's 2 variable, because this is multiplying like a distributive property, you know that it's geometric, all right? So again, let's find the first 5 sequences. So u of 1, so you put 1 in there, 1, 1 plus 1, that will give you 1. Oop, yeah, okay, we're done. You could just write 1 here, I'll erase this. All right, so u of 2. So let's put a 2 there and a 2 there. It'll be 3 and 5. So let's see, 2, 2 plus 1. That would give me 6. U3, 3, 3 plus 1. That'll give me 12. My bad. U of 4. That gives me 4, 4 plus 1. Gives me 20. All right. As you can see, it's going up by 5 and then 6. And 8, so it's not the same number, okay? So this is u of 5, 5, 5 plus 1, 6 and 30. All right, and that's the end of today's lesson. If you have any questions, email me, and that's it. Have a great day.